Hey, welcome back to the channel, everyone. We are playing The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and we're playing on original Nintendo 64 hardware. I've had this since I was a kid. We are still using it. I've got a beautiful CRT TV setup in front of me where I am using this as a second monitor. So if you want to see a video of me setting up an AV cart, the AV cart of my childhood dreams, I have all my old retro consoles. This is a retro gaming channel. And off to the side, I have my OBS studio. I have it adapted, so that's what you want to watch out for, a video that shows you how to not only be able to play on a CRT TV, but also still stream or make videos and record on your computer at the same time. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. If you are new here, this is our run-through, our playthrough, gameplay, whatever you want to call it, of Zelda Ocarina of Time. There is a playlist in my channel that has previous videos of this run-through because we are now to the Forest Temple. So if you've never played this game, welcome. You are joining me on a run-through of Ocarina of Time. And we are, like I said, we are to the Forest Temple. Wow, I've already gotten hit. Woo! It's an easy way to get rid of these guys. And I am I'm a pretty small channel here on YouTube, so I would greatly appreciate if you would help me out and subscribe, like, comment, tell me what your favorite N64 game is. This is certainly mine. It's a lot of people's favorites. So we are doing a run through, and I am not just playing through, but also telling you all the little tips and tricks that I've learned. I've been playing this game for, holy crap, it's been almost 30 years. And I still love this game with every fiber of my being. A lot of the other previous videos in this playlist, you will hear me wax poetic a lot about some of these. I'm not close enough. Not close enough to use my hook shot here. There we go. You'll hear me talk about all the nostalgia that this game brings me and still does, and just good feelings, basically. And I'm sure many of you feel the exact same way. Alright. The Forest Temple is the first temple that I think is... Well, first of all, we are now Adult Link. So in the last video, we got the Master Sword. So if you haven't seen that video, absolutely check that out. That is a pivotal... I mentioned it at the beginning of that video, which I believe is part 6, if I'm correctly mistaken. In that video, I talk about how it's a pivotal point, not just in Ocarina of Time, but in the Zelda universe. The whole timeline splits at that point in time. So if you happen to be a Zelda fan and somehow haven't played Ocarina of Time, you are doing yourself a great disservice. So, okay, we just walked into this middle room of the Forest Temple, and all these torches have been taken by Pose. So, So we're in this centrally located room. And I say central because there's doors up here, some sort of outlet there, another one there, another one there. Like, it's just like this giant, I guess it's sort of an octagon-shaped room. And there are many ways to come back to this central room. It kind of spiders out, if you will. So we are going to... Holy crap. Alright, I'm getting hit with stuff. Ooh. So, a good way... There's really two good ways to take care of these dudes. One is just wait for an opening. They're going to attack you. Use your shield. But also stabbing them kind of on the left side really helps. You can kind of wait it out. If you wait till they're just about to swing their sword, you can kind of get them. You can hit them a few times. Or you can wait. I like to do the backflip situation. and then hit him like that, you can usually get another quick stab in. That way you defeat those enemies. And those are Stalfos. And we got a Dekuna. I believe one of these pots, so this is a good time to show you guys. If you have a few bottles, which you should have if you are following me in this playthrough and are doing something similar, if you happen to be playing this game or just watching, that's fine. You should at this point have 3 bottles. And what I like to do, especially if I know a temple is going to be difficult, is make sure I always have bottled fairies, because when you eventually face a boss of a dungeon, if you get hit and you lose all your hearts, the fairy will come out and replenish your hearts so that you can keep going. So I still remember, I haven't played this game in years, but I still remember one of these, I believe maybe the one on the left, has a fairy. So we're going to bottle that fairy. Oh, no. Must be the other one. I'm trying not to get too close to it because you don't want to accidentally pick up the fairy and then not be able to bottle it. So I have a full set of fairies, and just so I don't accidentally pull a fairy out, I'm going to make sure I put something else on those C buttons. So we have picked up a key, and now we don't have to come back to this room. At least I don't think I do. We'll just walk past this bubble. I think they're called bubbles. And there is a Gold Skulltula. I believe we're up to, I think we're past 20 at this point. Maybe 22? You can always check in your start screen. By the way, in every version of the map, even if you're in a dungeon, if you get all the Gold Skulltulas that are in that dungeon or that region of the map, there will be, on this sub-screen of your start, there will be a Gold Skulltula in the corner of where it says Forest Temple on every single map in the game. So that's how you know if you have actually gotten all the Gold Skulltulas. We do have 22, and we could use 1 heart piece. So that's interesting. By the way, I don't know, I never come to the start screen to mention anything to you guys, but here are your songs in case you forget them, like physically how to play them. You have to learn them in the game for them to be active. So there are 5 more, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh wow, I actually, in a previous video, I talked about how the genius of Koji Kondo was able to write and make the songs functional within the game with only 5 notes. All you have are the C buttons and the A buttons, if you don't include the fact that you can sharpen or flatten notes by using the analog and R and Z buttons. But I think I said 10 songs. There's actually 12 different songs you can play that are functional within this game. So that just makes it even more ridiculous. Anyway, I am talking a little bit too much. I'm trying to make sure that everyone gets an explanation as to what we're doing. I kind of try to talk out loud so that we know if we need to backtrack for any reason, then we know. So here's another sort of interesting thing. If you get confused, that Skulltula, that regular Skulltula, faces you when you come into this room. If you approach one by accident that is not facing to you, that's the outdoor. You don't really have to fight these things. This is an interesting room for a couple of reasons. It's one of the first 3D puzzles as an adult. And you see these arrows, and Navi, of course, will call your attention to them. So these are the blocks. So if you see these arrows, they point this way, point that way, and over. And that's where you're supposed to land. So, but there are ways around this. So you can go around and push this over. So the reason I say it's a 3D puzzle, maybe that's not the right way to say it. By the way, this ladder is here. You will be, just take a note of that, because the first time you do this, you don't necessarily see that ladder is there, and that will utterly confuse you in the next portion of this puzzle. So I'm trying to make it to where you can see what I'm doing here, kind of in the 3D space of what's going on. And essentially making just a square around this so that we can push this block over. So if you are spatially dyslexic, makes it just a little bit easier to realize what it is you're doing here, so that you can push this block into the spot where it's supposed to go. Alright, so we have successfully placed this block here, and what that allows us to do is to go to a third floor. And now we're going to have something similar going on. So how do we get that block there? Well, now we have sort of a problem, right? The problem being, yes, I can pull this block here, but then I'm stuck on this wall. So what's going to happen is we have to go back down a floor and come up on the other side. And it's like, well, how do you do that? And there's almost a 3D representation of what's going on there. It's sort of not glitched. It's just that you can kind of see through the wall because I'm up against the wall, and I can't move this block any further. So I can't push it that way where it needs to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back downstairs, and that ladder is going to allow us to go on the other side of this block. So now we're on this side of the block, and we should push it up against that wall that I was stuck on. And now we should be able to go back around yet again. You can go this way. I suppose you could go that way as well. That would be the long way because you'd have to climb that ladder back down. So we're gonna go, we went down to come back up. And now we can push the block straight ahead. And luckily, we don't have to do this again. Because we're gonna come through this room a few times. If I remember correctly, there are ways to alter the dungeon. This is where 3D puzzling in Zelda, I think, is really, really cool, because there are spots in this game where you're going to alter the way the floor moves, where you're going to alter the way things change based on the room you were in previously. So as you can see, there's a locked door. And I don't actually have a key to get here. So already I've made a mistake. Well, not a mistake. It just means I'm at a dead end. So we're going to have to find a key elsewhere. So going this way. Is there a way across? This is kind of a separate thing. But there is possibly a way to get across from here. I've seen people do this jump where they sort of glitch this over. I'm not going to do it now. But there's a room that you're not supposed to be able to have access to, at least not from here. But I don't know. I'm just pointing that out. It's not something that I'm going to do. I'm going to do the regular playthrough. I'm not doing glitches and speed runs and things like that. But there is a way to get over and across. You can almost make that jump and get across to a piece of the map that you're not really supposed to have access to just yet. I know that's a thing. If you're watching this, check it out. Write in the comments if you were able to do that. Let me know how that goes. So we are going to head back to the central room, and we're going to try to find a different key in a different spot altogether. So which way are we going? Because, well, there's a block there. That's one way we could possibly go. I think this is the way out. I think this literally leads back out of the temple in the first room. Nope, that's where we fought the Stalfos. The the skeleton dudes. So, we may end up going in the direction of that block. We can't go up that way. I believe this is the way out of the temple, so this will also not be the correct way. Yep, that spider is facing away from us, so that is the entrance to the temple, so it's not that direction. So I believe we will end up going in the direction of the block that is going to be the Song of Time that we're going to use, unless this is another direction that we didn't do the first time. I think this is where we just were, the block room that goes up 3 floors. So there'll be a bubble here. Yep, just checking. I was pretty certain that that was the case. So yes, the direction we're going to go is indeed toward the block. We're going to play the Song of Time at that blue Door of Time block, which is to my... it's over here. Again, if you don't remember how to play the song, you can check in your start menu. But I haven't forgotten after nearly 30 years how to play some of these songs. I don't need a stick. Not that I use these things all that much anymore either, but you don't really need to fight all this stuff. Do we get anything from it? Okay, so here's what's funny is you can't actually reach this one. So you have to do your job of making it around without being seen. He's gonna try to get me. Oh, he got me. That's what I'm talking about, is you have to make your way up and make sure... oh, now he's moved. That Skulltula has moved, making it harder for me. No, he's kind of still on that side. So the way he turns... we're gonna wait for his movement to go away from us so that we can get up. Let's see if that works. Yeah, that'll work. And I believe this may be one of the coolest items here we're about to get. I think this is the item that I think it is. Coolest item in the game, in my opinion. Well, there's a lot of really good items. I shouldn't say that. It's not a map or a compass. Oh, I was wrong. We are headed that way, though. Now I remember. Now I remember where it was. Okay. Here's one of those things where, oh, I opened the chest and now I don't remember which way I was going. So let's see. Is it this way or the other way? Yeah, that was correct. Okay. So these targets are also usable. Press on this switch. This button switch. Thought I heard a gold Skulltula. Was it over here? No. Couldn't quite remember. So what we've done is we have lowered the water level of that well that's over there. Ah, I was trying to get away from him. So we have to do that because I didn't show you guys when I came into this room, but obviously this was full of water. The implication, of course, being that there is a key that we were looking for right over here. I like the way he kicks these open. It's a cool little animation. I like it a lot. Okay, so now that we have a key, we know we can go back to that block room that's got the 3 levels. You have to climb and then go around, climb the red block. And we can go to that door, which we know has a lock on it. So we're going to head back through. We'll head back through here. And now we just have to find, it's a short, I believe it was the short staircase. Yes, this one here. You just kind of learn which ones are which after you've done this. But now that we have the map, we can tell. So there will be a blue bubble on my right. I'm just gonna bypass the bubble. Yeah. What are these actually called? Blue bubble is what they're called. Okay, I wasn't imagining things. That was very close. That was a flame right on my... You know what? Alright. So we're gonna head this way. Drop a few frames because this is the original Nintendo 64. We're running at like, I want to say this is like a 20 frame per second game. I don't quite remember. I think it's 20 frames, and you know where certain areas drop frames. Okay, the only reason I'm going to get rid of these guys is because I'm going to come back. Actually, no, I don't need to do that. I'm just going to open this door. When I come back, I will have to defeat those enemies again, because they'll be in my way of trying to do... This corridor is all twisted. Thanks, Navi. This is a super cool room. To me, this is one of those like weird liminal spaces. Like a picture of that without the hub, without all the items and stuff all over it. What a cool image. Anyway, random. I'm a dude for, you know, composition and paintings and stuff like that, because I have separately and completely randomly, I have a film and photography channel. I'm a photographer and videographer. I've made short films and stuff like that. But check out the description in this video below and you will see a link to my other channel. So if I start pointing out and being all artsy fartsy, it's because I love the way things look, the way things are placed, the direction, the art direction, music, all of those things. When I'm trying to play one of these games, I always pay attention to those things. But anyway, I'm a big liminal spaces sort of guy. It's sort of that melancholy feel of spaces that give you almost nostalgia, but they feel eerie at the same time. Anyway, whole separate conversation. I'm talking way too much. So we need another freaking key. So that's a problem. In the meantime, this room has one of the, we'll just let it happen. Watch the shadow that forms under my feet. And he's about to drop on you. It's one of these things. And this should scare the bejesus out of you when you are a kid playing this game. That's what Navi tells you about. She warns you about. There's shadows of monsters that hang from the ceiling. So what do you know there? There's a treasure chest here. Yeah, but it's on the side of the... It's on the wall. So what is that about? Well, and that ladder is all sideways. So what the hell is going on? Well, turns out we don't have the key to go there, so we're gonna have to go back again. So if I were a real one, well, no, I take that back. What I was about to say was, if I were a real Zelda player, and by the way, I definitely am. This is not going to change my status as a Zelda player, because I have played them all. You would go through and you would get every key on the way here without stumbling, without stuttering, and you would make it all the way and not waste any additional time at doing this. But since I am trying to show you guys that if you happen to be new at this game, this is going to happen to you. This is going to happen to you a lot. You're going to go to a room. You're going to realize, oh, I need another key. I can't get through. You're going to have to backtrack. You're going to have to try to figure out, puzzle it together, piece it together. How do I get back to that room? What do I need in that room to get back? And all of these things. So now that we're in this room, and we don't have the compass, so we don't know We don't know where we are. You can only assume you're at one of these locations in this. I guess it's like a. It is. I think I said octagon the first time. That's correct. So what are we missing? Well, that door is the one I believe we just came through. That has the block. So we are missing a key. So what? We're gonna have to backtrack. Now, I think this is the way out of the temple. So this is not the correct way. We're gonna check just in case. Spider facing away from me. Oh, nope. It's not. This is the room where we fought the skeletons. And I don't need to be here either. Yep, that's correct. So yet again, we're going to head back. I just rolled right through that damage. What we're gonna do, and what I recommend you do, is we're just gonna go around the room, pick a direction. I'm gonna go clockwise. Okay, so I know that that is a room, that is the other side of the door. Okay, obviously we can't go up there, it's too high. So we're not gonna bother with that. So, let's go this way. Now I believe this is the way out. This is the way out of the temple. The spider will be facing away from me. Yep. We're gonna check just in case, but pretty sure this is the way out of the temple. It sure is. That's how you go out. We are not gonna fight them again. Oh, they're gonna hit me anyway. We're gonna keep going around the room in a clockwise fashion. Alright, what have we here? I think we're just back to the room where we climbed the blocks again. So this is not the answer either. Which means we're gonna have to go back to the area where the well was. And where we found that one key. There must be another door or another area that we haven't been to. So let's try to do that. And that's going to be back through this area. So we are missing a key. We are missing a key. I hate, it's so useless having to fight these because you can wait and you can get some Deku nuts, which we don't really need. Alright. Let's go up this way. So what were we missing before? Or what did we do before that we didn't do this time? So we went over there. Oh, we forgot to do the other room. Okay, and I remember why. I remember what happened. So there's actually... I'm gonna get hit. I don't think there's a way up from this side. Oh, there is. I've never had to backtrack in this direction. Take the ladder back up from this side of the well because it goes... You really just make your way to the other side and not worry about this side. Does that make sense? So there is a... in case you didn't spot it, if you have a good eye, you saw something right before I came over here to fight this Deku Baba, and the answer is right there. So I'm not sure if this is a key, but we're gonna get it anyway. Nope, it sure isn't. And this was actually the Skulltula that I thought I heard earlier when we were up in the region where actually I'm pretty sure is where we need to go. So we need to actually make our way back to... It's up there, and it takes you over and across, and then you go up that way. So we do have to head back. If I've got you all mixed up and confused, well, I'm a little confused myself. So, I know where I need to end up, but we haven't gotten there yet. Save me just a little tiny bit of time, because I'm all about that. Alright. So we're in this room, and I know there's a door right there. You can't see it. Let me scoot over a little bit. There's a door right there, and the way to get over there is across this room and over. So how did we get there? Because I know we were up there not that long ago. So how to get up there is the question. And I think the answer is up here. Remember this room? You have to go over and across. And remember there's a Skulltula that we can't fight, that we can't hit, so you have to make sure you sneak around. Make sure to watch the Skulltula's movements. He's gonna come back. Oh. Oh, it's gonna be close. Ooh. Here we go. Okay, we go across. We make it to here. Now, is this the answer we were looking for? I believe this is still no. We are still at a no. So you get over here and you press the switch. This is what allows you to get the key that we already got. Oh, I didn't know you could press that again. I've never done that before. There's no reason to have that water level up. So you could go across, but really, no, we have to find our way to the room that I showed you guys on the other side of this. That is the actual answer. And I'm positive of it, but now I actually am a little bit confused as to how to get there. I wonder if it's going to involve going back through the room with the block and having to change something, because I don't think there is another answer there. There must be something I was missing. Something I was missing from before. There is a way to come out through that. You come out through the door with the Deku Baba that's right there. And then in there's a key. I'm positive of that. The question is, how do we get there? So we're going to go back to the main room and try to find our way around. I think we've already done every possibility. We're going to head back to the block room, so the short stair with the railings. The room with the blocks. Those stupid things always hit me. That's the easiest way to get rid of them. So I know we don't have the key to go where we need to go, so something else is not right. Where, oh where, is the last key that we need? So if I come up here, the stairs are crooked. I know that. There's another ladder. We're going to go up these stairs. And I know that on the other side of this corridor, I don't have a way through. I need a set of... I need a key. There's a key that I need. So I can't get in there. So... One of these... So this thing attacks you. And if you don't take it out quickly... then what happens is... it turns into... like it gets mad. It turns green like the Hulk. And then it attacks you with this like flying attack. Huh. I am actually confused here. How do we get that key? Oh man. You guys are living some actual Zelda Ocarina of Time frustration here. If you have gotten excuse me, if you have gotten this far in the video, type out your comments. I want to hear it. I want to hear it in the comments. Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? I guess by the time you got through this video, I will have hopefully figured it out by now. But I should have done this live, I guess. We are definitely missing something here. We are definitely missing something. What is it? What are we missing? Let's do our clockwise turn, just like we said. Okay, we've already been over there. This is like the way out, I believe. We don't need to leave the temple. No, this is the direction of the... This is where we fought the skulls. But why are they here? Did I not grab this key that entire time? I did not grab that key that entire time. You guys in the comments are going to... please, destroy me in the comments. I fought those skulls, and then I was talking about how, oh, you need to grab the fairies and stuff, and then I freaking left the key here. That entire time, I left a key there. Wow. Okay. Come on, fairy. Oh, yeah, I got it. I left that key there the whole time. I even came back into this room and grabbed another fairy, I'm pretty sure. That was it. That was it the entire time. Okay. We're back on track. Shut off the fire alarm. We're back on track. Okay. We have the key. We're definitely going back up into the block room. Climb the blocks, go through the twisted corridor. Use the key. All right. Please, please blow up the comments. Because I straight up left that room without picking up the reason I was there. How frustrating. You did everything right. And you didn't open the treasure chest. Oh, hopefully that's not the... Or I was going to say, hopefully that's the last time something like that happens, but you never know. Okay, so we have our key. Pop in here, and I believe we're fighting some ghosts. Okay, this is a funny one. Because there's no way to actually do anything about this yet. We have to go across, and I believe, if I remember correctly, this is where we're going to fight some more skull. Yep. And they fall. If you fall, you're screwed. And you gotta come all the way back up and fight them again. I did a better thing that time, but now there's like 2 more. And I believe if you don't fight them fast enough, then one of them comes back. So if you don't kill this guy quickly enough, the other one comes back. Alright. So there's a red carpet and a blue carpet. So the red carpet is where we were. Keep track of that, because that's a thing. We'll grab our heart. I don't think we need anything else in this room, but rupees and our wallet's already full. Okay. This should be our item in this dungeon. With good reason, because what we're about to do, you're about to see, is one of my favorite interesting ways to take out a mini boss, I guess you could say. So we are going to add our bow. There we go. So remember, there's a red carpet and there's a blue carpet. Red carpet, blue carpet over there. Red is where we came in from, and those are matched to these mini bosses we're about to fight. Now there's something interesting about these mini bosses. When we walked in, there was a ghost. There was a painting of a ghost, or a Poe, if you will. And if they see you, they move. So let me just show you that. If they see you, they move away. So there's no way to do anything about it. The only thing you can do is use your new weapon and stand close by, and you've just removed one of them. So if you do this, they disappear. So now there's only 2 locations for them to be in. So you hit it at an angle, and there's only 1 left now, so this ghost can't go anywhere. It's got nowhere left to go. So I like to not use my arrows here. You're supposed to use your arrows, but I like to do this instead. You wait, and you got our hook shot out, and I've got it primed and ready, and bam, and then you get away because this Poe is gonna swing. They happen to be sisters, so there's 4 sisters. The Poe sisters that took the torches away when we entered the main room in this forest temple. So you do this about 4 times. Well, I guess another time. So that's 4. The Z targeting works really nicely. That was it. And you get your arrows back, but only 5 of them. So you can use arrows, or you can use the hook shot. Either one will give you a... you'll get some arrows back, so it's kind of whatever. I just like to save. So, we got another key. And now we're going to go back to this room, and we're going to go to the blue side. Because on the blue side, I believe there is another Poe. But we're going to remember something. Now that we have the bow, there is something else we can do. And now we have a similar situation. So we're going to do the same thing. Remember that you can go back to that corridor. Oh, I messed up. The Poe saw me. Sometimes they see you. You kind of have to be at this angle. But if it's not perfect, you'll hit the railing instead. The room where the treasure chest that was yellow, this is the first time we've encountered a yellow treasure chest. That yellow treasure chest is the dungeon key. or sorry, not the dungeon key, the boss key. And the way to access it, well, I won't give you the answer just yet, in case for some reason this is your first time you've seen this game. But we're gonna head back, right after this, we're gonna head back to the corridor that was twisted. And we're going to do something with it that we couldn't do before, because now we have the bow and arrow. Y'all like my furphy hat? Shout out to any Australians. My wife was in Australia. She brought back this hat. I really like it. Furphy. If you know what that is, comment below. I don't know if maybe this is the compass, I believe. We already have the dungeon map. So this is going to be the compass, which at this point, we've been through so much in here. It's almost, feels almost useless, doesn't it? So, I'm not going to go this way just yet, but as a reminder, we're going to head back to this room after we do what I told you about the corridor, because this is where we're going to use our next key. I'm not going to use it yet because I want to remember that this is where we're going to come back to this spot. You'll notice that the blue flame is back, and so is the red flame. From this other Poe. So it is always faster. You can either sidestep or you can backflip. Is faster than walking normally. Okay, this is what I was talking about. So it's up there on the side of the wall. And this corridor, as Navi graciously told us, is all twisted. Well, this is what we have to do to change that. And now it's all straight. So what do you think happened to that room now that it's all different? And the answer is this. You can hear the shadow of that monster. It's lingering right above me. That hand monster. Ooh, it got away from me. We're gonna do something a little different here. This takes you somewhere. Just Link writing some poetry. Okay, I'm done with this. That is so annoying, isn't it? What did I even do here? Oh, I just opened the I just opened a door. That's all it was. Okay, this is the door I was talking about earlier, which should have been an easier prospect to get here, but it turns out it wasn't. I'm not gonna worry about that. We have one of these guys. Except this time it splits up. Splits up into 3 pieces. It's nice to use that spin move so you can grab it a lot faster. I don't remember if this is a key. I was speculating earlier that this is where the key was, and I was not right about that, but maybe it still is a key and we need it later. Yep, it sure is. Okay, now I'm still going this way. I believe this is now the 2nd floor of that platform that you weren't able to get to before. Yep. That's right here. So this is what I was saying earlier. Earlier in the game, we jumped across from that spot. And there is a way that you can actually make that jump and use a diving move, and you can actually, it's not really a glitch, you can make that jump, but it just takes so long to try it. And this door is not locked, so you could come in here and grab that key and save you a lot of time. But doesn't matter now. So we now have 2 keys. Oh, and I hate these things so much. There's no point. Anyone else struggle with those just for no reason? They're just annoying. So we've got 2 keys, one of which we know is the end of the hallway that we talked about. I pointed it out after the blue Poe that we defeated. Oh, trying to push on the block instead of climbing it. So we have to get there, we have to change the angle once again of this corridor. We don't need... These things are just... I don't even care. I don't even care. We're gonna twist the corridor again on purpose, because that's where we saw the pose that we're gonna go all the way across to. And there's gonna be another one. So we've done red, blue. We still have to do green and purple. Let's see if we can grab some hearts here. I don't know if they're gonna be full or not. I think we used them all when we fought the... Yep. The game does not reward you with those unless you start the game up again. Let's see what we've got here. You know what I haven't done in a while? Obsessively save. And I need to, because as I explain in almost every single one of my videos here, my Nintendo 64, which I've had nearly 30 years now, it's the same original console I've had. Sometimes it just craps out, it shits the bed, and it just turns off. Watch for the shadows of monsters that hang from the ceiling. Yep, I absolutely remember that. Yeah, so my console will just turn itself off. I don't even want to deal with you, but please give me a heart. Alright. Here's the key that we needed. Now this is a hell of a puzzle, because you're in this room and it's rotating, and you see that there's an eye that you can hit with an arrow, except it's frozen. It's got ice on it, so the only way is to line up your shot, and this platform is moving. I missed. We gotta wait for this thing to come all the way back around, and this is like... I think when I did this as a kid, it was super frustrating. In reality, it's not too bad. You kind of just have to line it up and wait for it to come back around. But holy crap, if this is the first 3D game you've ever played, how annoying would this be? You can't crouch either. It's not like you can do this while crouching, because it seems like the arrow is up too high. And I think that is definitely the case. But we're going to try it. I don't usually have this much trouble doing this puzzle, funny enough. There we go. I didn't even get it. But it registered like I got it. So now we twisted the corridors so that we could twist the other side. Alright. Jump back across. I wanted a heart piece. Oh, I got my arrows replenished. No heart piece. Okay. So now, this is all twisted. And there's a hole over here. We're going to fall in this hole. And we do not want to go that way. And the floor is freaking falling down. Watch out, the ceiling is falling down. But there are spots, if you pay attention, there are spots where it opens up. So we're gonna stay here, because the floor falls down on you like this chessboard looking thing. And we're gonna open this. It's like a rupee or something. And arrows. Okay. Arrows are nice. Okay, we can get across now. And now we're here. And you're probably thinking to yourself, well, what the heck? This one is different than the other pose. Well, now it's a literal puzzle we're building. So we're gonna push this block over. We gotta get that central block out of the way. So what it is it's literally the painting that's up of the Poe itself. And all you have to do is finish the painting. That's all. That's literally all you have to do. But you gotta do it in the allotted amount of time, which shouldn't be a problem. If you mess up, it re-scrambles it, and then the orientation of the blocks is not the same. So it actually, funny enough, it makes it a little bit tougher on the second go through. Not that it's tough in the first place, but you push it together, and there you have it. Now you get out of the way because she's about to smack you with the torch. Alright. How long we're at 57 minutes in this video. If you are here, if you are still here watching me do the Forest Temple, please, please, please subscribe. You have been here this long, you must like this game. It's not my beautiful personality, I don't think. I hope it is. Oh, if you get too far away with Z targeting, it won't let you target. But if you're too close, she'll whack you with a torch. I believe that was 4. And that's 5. So we have 3 of the 4 Poes done. And the flames have come back, so they should be... I actually haven't checked. What you should be doing as you're playing this particular dungeon is you go back to that central room and you realize that the torches are back, which means that's what you've had to do this entire time so that you can get access to the central room where that elevator was taken away from you. We're going to save because we just defeated another mini-boss. So let's go ahead and keep going here. Now look at that. There's 4 of them. By the way, these Poes have names. I'm not joking. This one's called Meg. Not joking either. You can actually search the names of these sister Poes. Anyway, that's a whole separate piece of lore, I believe. So these are the guardians of the Forest Temple, and obviously they've been overtaken by Ganondorf. So the key to this particular one is the one that spins is the one who's real. And I believe it's this one. So follow where the Poe that spins, when she reappears, the one that spins is the correct one. So that's how you check. So watch for her to reappear. The one that spins, right here. If you don't, what you end up doing is you end up taking out the ones that aren't the real one. And then that does not help you. So I guess it's the same 5 times. Also, they get faster and faster. If you take one out, they keep rotating in a circle, but now since there's fewer of them, they rotate faster around that circle, and it becomes increasingly difficult to actually take them out. Alright, we're going to save there. Obsessive saving, I know. And we should be at the final stretch here of these puzzles. So here's what you see. Okay, there's a switch there, but there's iron bars in my way, or steel bars in my way. So what are we doing here? There's another section. Okay. So that is, you can see there's a lock. That is, that's the lock to the dungeon boss. And you can see that in the map in the bottom right hand. The bottom right hand corner of the screen. So we need to figure out how to unlock those. So it turns out you can move these. There's a very weird way to shift this room around. And so sometimes you get an empty spot, and other times you get something that's a bit more useful. So we're going to keep going in the same direction. I hear a gold Skulltula. We're going to grab that. This is probably just like a rupee or something. Arrows are good. Arrows are nice to have. Now what I like to do again is to keep going clockwise, because, or just pick a direction, because otherwise you'll mix and match and confuse yourself every time. So okay, so that's the switch, and that's the wall. We're gonna keep going. We don't yet have access to whatever that is. So all we're doing is this whole room rotates. That's just a wall. Now there's a button here. Now this button is different than the other button. Okay, so we know that that button was there. Now we're gonna go counterclockwise to save some time, because we know that it was on that side. So your puzzle solving here should be a little bit easier. Okay, so there were steel bars here. Now there's not. And that opens yet another switch. So we're gonna continue to go counterclockwise, because that other gate was on the same side as the gate that was to the boss door. So is it this one? No, it's not this one. We have already opened this. We're going to continue to go counterclockwise, because we know from the very first try that they were opposite each other. The boss room and the other switch. So this switch should open the steel bars directly across from me, which allow us to access the dungeon boss. So we have accessed that. What I'm going to do is save. And we are on our way to fighting the dungeon boss. And you will appreciate this dungeon boss as... So this is interesting. So you don't actually start. You're like, well, what's going on here? Now, we've seen paintings before. We know the ghosts were in the paintings, but there's nothing here. So you're thinking to yourself, well, what do we do? Well, there's nothing to do, but you don't access the boss until this happens. You try to leave. And those come up. And who do we have here? Ganon. And what's that? He just ripped his own face off. Evil spirit from beyond, Phantom Ganon. This is one of the coolest bosses, I think. Now, what's really cool is, just like we learned from before with the other pose, you're gonna end up shooting something as it comes out. Now, I shoot it when it turns white, because what happens is you're looking at all these other ones, and it turns out that he's trying to escape. So one of these is real, one of them is fake. I think the slightly whiter one is the real one. I don't know if you can tell, but one of them is darker than the other. It is a little hard to tell. That one's darker. Okay, so we've gotten him out. Now we're gonna play a little bit of baseball. Phantom Ganon. It's an evil ghost of the forest temple. He comes out of one of the pictures. We are about to play a little game of, you can call it tennis, you can call it volleyball. I actually happen to believe that Phantom Ganon is harder than Ganondorf because he moves around when he's playing this energy tennis ball with you. And in every version of Zelda that I can remember, starting with A Link to the Past, he's throwing these energy balls at you, and you have to hit him back. But this one, Phantom Ganon, he moves around the room at a faster pace, and I think it increases in speed the more you do it. So I actually think this guy is harder to beat than the overall boss of this whole game. So let's have a go. Answer his magic attack with an attack of your own. And I did that absolutely wrong. And the reason is because you should always use your longest attack instead. And if you can hit him more than once and save your attack that you're hitting him with, you can use the the stab at the same time. If you miss, it electrifies the hell out of you. See how fast it came back at me much faster when he returned it. So you get much less of a chance, in my opinion. The return is faster. And there's a tiny bit of lag because of the frame drops. And it's hard to tell when you're going to swing your sword there. So you can do that hopefully a few times. You could also crouch stab since you've saved the damage from the jumping slash attack. You can just crouch stab and do the same amount of damage. But I like backflips. Hey kid, you did quite well. It looks like you may be gaining some slight skill. But you have defeated only my phantom. When you fight the real me, it won't be so easy. I disagree, actually. What a worthless creation that ghost was. I will banish it to the gap between dimensions. What a thing to say. I will banish you to the gap between dimensions. That's a hell of an insult. Alrighty, we're going to pick up our heart container. Unless you happen to be doing the 3 heart challenge, which is one of my save files, where you don't pick up any additional hearts and you beat the game. That's a hell of a challenge, by the way. But let's go. We have finished the Forest Temple. Let's look at some of these resolving cinematics of the Forest Temple, and and then we will see what we're doing next. Chamber of the Sages. Thank you. Because of you, I could awaken as a sage. I am Saria, the sage of the Forest Temple. Or Saria. I always believed that you would come because I know you. No. You don't have to explain it to me. Because it is destiny that you and I can't live in the same world. Well, I will stay here as the forest sage and help you. Now, please take this medallion. Some super cool textures and sound effects, and the way the coin accelerates as it flips. You receive the Forest Medallion. Saria awakens as a sage and adds her power to yours. Saria will always be your friend. There's a lot wrapped up in those words, I think. And we're back in the forest. And it looks like there's a little sprout. There's a little tree sapling. Which is nice about the revival of the Deku tree here. So we have iterations of the Deku tree once again. Hi there, I'm the Deku tree sprout. Because you and Saria broke the curse on the forest temple, I can grow and flourish. Thanks a lot. It's really interesting, you know, all the sort of incarnations of Link and Zelda and Ganon and now even the Deku Tree. Hey, have you seen your old friends? None of them recognize you with your grown-up body, did they? That's because the Kokiri never grow up. Even after 7 years, they're still kids. I read somewhere that in Japanese, it's either Kiri or Koki means, I think Kiri means child. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please let me know. Google it. Put it in the comments. So that's an interesting take on not just that, but also the name of the place where we are, where the kids never grow up. This is like Neverland, like in Peter Pan or something. You must be wondering why only you have grown up. Well, as you might have already guessed, you are not a Kokiri. You are actually a Hylian. I am happy to finally reveal this secret to you. So none of the other children of the forest have grown up. So how old are they? That's another question. You think they're kids, but if they never grow up, and you only lived in this timeline and you're presumably about 17 years old, how old are they? One day, to escape from the fires of the war, a Hylian mother and her baby boy entered this forbidden forest. He's talking about you. The mother was gravely injured. Her only choice was to entrust the child to the Deku Tree, the guardian spirit of the forest. The Deku Tree could sense that this was a child of destiny, whose fate would affect the entire world, so he took him into the forest. After the mother passed away, the baby was raised as a Kokiri, and now, finally, the day of destiny has come. You are a Hylian, and were always bound to leave this forest. And now you have learned your own destiny, so you know what you must do. That's right, you must save the land of Hyrule. Now, JP, break the curses on all of the temples and return peace to Hyrule. Is it just me, or is the exclamation point in italics? Like it's slightly leaning? I don't know why they do that. Maybe I don't know. Some sort of artistic style, artistic choice there, but it looks to me like only the exclamation points are italicized. Anyway. Alright. We have finished the forest temple, everyone. So, join me. Well, I should save, because I always obsessively save. So, this has been part... I can't remember if this is part 6, part 7. I think it's part 6. Either way, it will be correct in the title and the description. But, we're going to see what happens in the next one. Where are we going to next? Alright, see you guys then.